Hi guys, welcome back to another episode with Rusi Baby. Quick question: what are the silent mistakes that so many newlyweds make, even without realizing it? Imagine this: two people just got married, like recently. In fact, their wedding pictures are still trending. People are still telling them congratulations. In fact, their honeymoon glow is still on. But just few months into the marriage, there are already unnecessary arguments, fights, serious quarrel. People that are just few months married. Can you imagine that kind of thing? And the thing is that the cause of these fights and quarrels and misunderstandings are irrelevant things. I am telling you, irrelevant things that one person is supposed to just overlook. In fact, the both of them are just supposed to overlook and just continue their home put. Find out that the thing is actually causing a very big problem for them just few months into their marriage. See, the truth is that marriage does not crash overnight. There are little things that will keep causing little cracks that one day lead to the final crash of that marriage. You see a lot of people making a lot of mistakes. A lot of newlyweds making a lot of mistakes without even realizing it. And they will not realize this mistake until things get really bad, until that marriage is about to crash. That's when they now finally realize that mistake. But it should not be so. That is why in today's episode, I'm going to be taking you guys through various silent mistakes that newlyweds make. Mistakes that actually eat at the love, the happiness, the respect, the joy of that marriage. So if you're able to avoid these mistakes, then my dear, you save yourself so many years of frustration. But even if you've made some of these mistakes, it is not too late to fix things in your marriage. It is not too late to do the right thing. But of course, before I begin what we have for today's episode, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you've not subscribed. Also like, comment and share my videos as well. Thank you so much for that. So what are those silent mistakes that so many newlyweds make without even realizing it? Mistake number one: they expect their relationship with their partner to feel like dating forever, even after getting married. That is indeed a big mistake. That spark in your relationship, when you guys finally get married, it will not remain like that forever. No. It is that spark that brought the both of you together, that made you guys fall in love, and now made you guys make the decision of getting married. But will that spark remain forever? It will not remain the same forever. Marriage involves deeper things. It involves responsibility. It involves sacrifice. For example, you see people when they dated for maybe a few years, finally got married. Maybe when they were still dating, still dating their partner, maybe there was a particular gesture that their partner always displayed to them. Maybe their partner used to buy them flowers every month, something like that. And they just noticed that ever since they got married, all those little gestures stopped. And you see newlyweds, just few months into their marriage, all those little gestures that their partner used to display when they were still dating was no longer there anymore. It started causing so many issues in marriages. You see some people saying that their partner does not love them anymore. No, my dear, it's not like that. It's not that your partner doesn't love you anymore. It's just that you need to understand that love has now evolved to responsibility. Those little gestures are what your partner used to do to keep that relationship bonded together, to keep the love ignited. You understand? So it's not like your partner doesn't want to do those things anymore. It's actually because that love has now matured to responsibility. So there are other things now that you guys are married. There are so many other much more important things that your partner is now doing. I'm not saying that you should ignore those little gestures that you used to do for your partner when you guys were still dating immediately you get married. No, but I'm saying that when your partner no longer does all those gestures that they used to do before, it doesn't mean that they don't love you anymore. So as newlyweds, you need to understand that love will definitely mature to responsibility when you get married. Not talking about money, honestly, it's a very serious mistake. Yes, you need to talk about money before and during marriage, because money is more like the biggest reasons why so many marriages break up. Yes, so you need to talk about money. Everything concerning money, you guys need to talk about it. From the spending habit to maybe if you have any debt to pay pending, please tell your partner about it before you say I do. Open up to your partner about everything. Make sure you talk about money with your partner. It is very important. For example, I know of a lady that actually discovered that her husband had so much debt to pay and hid it from her until they got married, and it was now causing issues for them after they got married. That is why you need to be honest. Just open up to your partner and tell them about it. It is very important. Some people actually realize their partner's spending habits after marriage, not during dating but after, because their partner hid it from them. So my dear, being honest about money with your partner, it helps you guys build trust. But when you keep things that are this important away from your partner, it builds suspicion. As newlyweds, when you begin to think that love alone is enough to sustain your marriage, my dear, that's a very big mistake. Love is good, love is powerful, but my dear, love without wisdom, without planning, without patience is not enough. Is not enough to sustain your marriage. Yes, for example, both of you can be madly in love with each other, like you sincerely love this person and your partner loves you too. So out of the love, the whole emotion and feelings, you guys just decided to get married without planning, without having vision for their marriage. You guys don't even talk about important things. I made a video about this particular thing I just mentioned now. Important things to talk about before getting married. Yes, you can check out that video. I think I made it some time ago. There are so many things you guys need to talk about before saying I do. So many things to agree on. So when you don't talk about those things, when you don't plan your marriage and you allow your emotions and feelings to drive you into that marriage, why won't you guys begin to fight and argue over some certain things just few months into your marriage? Because you guys did not plan. You do not even settle on some certain things. You do not even talk about so many things and at least have an agreement on them. So now that you guys are married, you're now using the time to start implementing your plans, to start making plans, which is wrong. So my dear, love is not enough. Marriage involves very serious planning, wisdom and patience. Comparing your marriage to someone else's marriage is a very big mistake. Please, newlyweds, take note. As newlyweds, you go online and you're scrolling through Instagram and you're seeing a lot of perfect couples, perfect marriages, the vacations, the surprise gifts, this. You're seeing a lot of things. And you begin to feel bad. You begin to feel like your marriage is failing. Your marriage is useless. My dear, that is really bad. You're killing yourself, killing your marriage. As a woman, a married woman, a newlywed, you begin to compare your partner to his friends. You begin to tell him, oh, why can't you be like your friend? Can't you see that he just bought his wife a car? Can't you see that he did this for his wife? He did that. All those things are not necessary. You're killing your marriage. You can actually encourage your partner to actually do something for you instead of comparing your partner. My dear, comparison will only kill the joy in your marriage. Every marriage is unique. Do not ever compare your marriage to someone else's marriage. Even if you're comparing your partner, maybe your partner's friend bought his wife a car. Do you know how that car came? Do you know if it was a gift? Do you know if they actually got a loan to buy that car? Even if they bought it with their money, they had the money to buy that car, it still doesn't give you the right to compare your marriage to someone else's marriage. Every marriage is unique. Ignoring small annoyances in your marriage until they explode is definitely a big mistake. Don't wait for it to explode. Don't bear grudges against your partner. It will turn into resentment. Those little things that your partner always do to you, that you know that you don't like, that irritates you, don't carry it in mind. Politely and gently talk to your partner about it. Maybe it could be their eating habits, their spending habits, maybe they always leave the bed undressed, or there are some things they just do in the home. Ever since you guys got married, you just notice there are some little things about their character, about their habits that you don't like. Maybe they're always in the habit of forgetting your birthday, or they're always forgetting you guys' anniversary. No, those little things that shouldn't be a big deal, but because you refuse to talk to your partner about it, about how irritated you feel about your habits, before you know it, you begin to bear all those things in mind, and before you know it, your partner will begin to irritate you. Everything your partner does will just be irritating you all the time. So you see, talking to your partner about it is very, very important. Talking about things like this early enough will definitely save you guys the blow up in that marriage. Letting in-laws control your marriage is a very big mistake. I understand that newlyweds actually find it a little bit difficult to balance their loyalty to family and to their spouse. Yes, but my dear, you need to understand that marriage is first partnership. Your partner comes first before your family. So your family should support your marriage and not try to control it. There are some little mistakes that involves family that you should not make. Not involving your partner in things. For example, maybe as a man, you're the head of the house. Nobody is dragging your position with you. But sometimes when you want to do some things for your wife's family, for your own family, don't be the type of person that will make your partner feel sidelined by not involving your partner. Maybe you want to give something to maybe your mother as a man, you don't tell your wife about it. Or maybe you're always in the habit of telling your family about the little misunderstandings, the little quarrels that happens between you and your wife. No. Do not allow your family to control your marriage. They should only get involved when necessary, not all the time. Neglecting intimacy after the wedding is another very big mistake that so many newlyweds make. Yes, as couples, you don't need to assume that intimacy will flow. You shouldn't neglect intimacy because you guys are now married. You as the man, as the husband, you as the wife, do not assume that it is when your partner needs intimacy, that is when you guys get to be intimate. Maybe you're used to your partner always initiating intimacy, and maybe few months into your marriage, your partner just stops. You just notice that your partner no longer asks for any form of intimacy. Do not assume that your partner no longer loves you. Do not assume that your partner rejects you. Do not assume that your partner no longer finds you attractive. No. That is why communication is very important. Talk to your partner. Know what the problem is. Because, my dear, when you guys get married, the stress from responsibilities, from work, can actually make your partner so tired all the time, every day, that they can't even initiate intimacy anymore. Responsibilities. So communication is very important. Do not assume anything. Always talk to your partner. And sometimes if you're used to your partner always initiating intimacy, and you notice that your partner stops, why can't you start? Yes, I mean, the both of you are one. Like, you can initiate intimacy to encourage your partner. You understand? So intimacy is something that you need to intentionally nurture. As newlyweds, you guys should not be living like roommates. Rather, you should live like partners. When you guys finally get married, it shouldn't be you guys splitting everything. You split the bills 50-50, you split the chores 50-50. You do a lot of things that are not necessary. Things that you know that can affect the bond that you guys share. You as a wife, you demand from your husband, because you contribute financially to the home, you now demand that your husband should also split. Like, you now demand that the chores in the home should also be split 50-50 because you contribute financially into the home. See, let me tell you something. I know that every home doesn't operate the same way. Every home doesn't. There are people that 50-50 works for. In their home, the bills are split 50-50, the chores are split 50-50, and the home is at peace. But my dear, do not demand for such a thing in your home, so that you don't destroy the bond between you and your partner. You begin to say, yes, that since because you're a working class wife and you contribute financially, your husband should also partake in the chores as well. You now begin to share chores. You cook today, your husband must cook tomorrow. Next tomorrow you cook. He should wash plates, do this, do that. My dear, is not necessary. See, there are men that contribute 100% to their home and still cook. I'm telling you, there is a way men operate though. They don't behave like women. I'm telling you. Even if the wife is not contributing anything financially, there are men like that. They can still, just out of love, let these things flow from your heart. Don't demand for them. If you're contributing financially to your home as a woman, I mean, it's your home. It's not for your own good, for your home to work. So there is nothing wrong with you contributing financially to your own home and still doing the chores. Let all these things flow from your heart. If you truly love your partner, you want your home to work, you guys should talk about it and agree. If it's 50-50 bills, fine. If it's chores that you guys want to split 50, fine. Do what works for you. Do not demand for things like this in your marriage. If not, you end up living like flatmates. You end up treating your partner like your roommate, which is not supposed. You guys are meant to not just cohabit, but blend your lives together. Keeping secrets away from your partner, all in the name of all for the sake of peace, is a big mistake, especially as newlyweds. Come on. When you begin to withhold the truth from your partner, all in the name of I don't want problem, I don't want to fight with my partner, my dear, you're killing your marriage. Withholding the truth from your partner is a silent killer. You as the wife, whenever you help your family members, maybe you give any of your siblings or any member of your family money or any of your close friends money, you hide it from your partner. Or maybe you lost your job as the man of the house, you hide it from your partner. Why? Keeping secrets away from your partner will only kill your marriage. That is why communication remains the key, a very important key in marriage. To you, you might be saying it that keeping those secrets away from your partner helps you to maintain peace, but it's only temporal. In the long run, it actually kills peace. Think about it. When you fail to set boundaries with friends, especially as newlyweds, my dear, you will regret it. Yes, you have to learn to set boundaries with friends, even from the time when you were about to get married. Yes, don't wait until things get bad. As a married man, as a married woman, you should not be behaving and acting as if you're still single. No, now that you're married, things need to change. You need to adjust some things in your life. Yes, maybe before you got married, you used to party, you club a lot. Now that you're married, you have to adjust your priorities. As a married man, as a married woman, you should not be prioritizing your friends over your partner. Your partner will feel left out. Come on, and it will cause unnecessary distance between you and your partner. Imagine, for example, maybe every Friday night, you always go clubbing with your friends. You don't used to miss it. As a single guy, as a single lady. Now that you're married, especially if maybe your partner is not a party person. Now that you're married, You shouldn't be leaving your partner at home every night to go and club with friends till the very next day. Like, seriously. See, my dear, healthy marriages needs adjustment of priorities. So if you're married, please act as if you're married. As newlyweds, you should not assume misunderstandings or conflicts in your marriage. Not assume arguments. It's a sign that your marriage is weak, and it shouldn't be. Just few months into your marriage, and whenever you have little misunderstandings with your partner, you're already asking yourself, oh my God, it's like I married the wrong man. Just 1 month into your marriage, just 2 months into your marriage, you're already making such statements. It's like I married the wrong man. It's like I married the wrong woman. Maybe you guys just had little issues with resolving how to split the bills in the home. Instead of you to actually focus on how to deal with that issue, you're then asking yourself questions like, it's like I did not marry well. What kind of... It shouldn't be like that. No, do not assume that your marriage is going bad just because of a little misunderstanding. No, it's not about having misunderstanding. It's actually how you deal with those misunderstandings, how you handle those misunderstandings. You understand? So as newlyweds, you need to understand that conflicts, misunderstandings, arguments in marriage does not signal doom. In fact, it's an opportunity for you guys to learn about each other and understand each other better. So when you begin to see things from this dimension, it will help you guys to resolve your conflict better and even faster. Knowing each other's love language in that marriage will definitely help you guys prevent unnecessary heartbreak. As newlyweds, it's a very big mistake for the both of you not to learn each other's love language. Yes, from the time when you guys are about to get married, you need to learn and understand each other's love language. It is very, very important, because maybe one person's love language is gift and the other person's love language is touch or words. So, okay, maybe when, for example, you as the husband, you buy your wife gifts all the time. Maybe every weekend you buy your wife gifts. But her own love language is touch. She wants your quality time. She wants you. Now, you giving her gifts, it's not like she doesn't like the gifts. But she, love language, when you speak someone's love language, the person will feel loved. Your wife begins to give you little attitude, not because she doesn't like the gift, but she actually prefers something else to that gift. You, as the husband, will begin to feel unappreciated. So it is very important that you learn and understand each other's love language and speak that love language as well. As newlyweds, oversharing your marital problems with outsiders is one of the worst things that you can ever do. It kills marriage so much. Yes, you can't just rush to family, to friends, to social media whenever you have little issues with your partner. Come on, no. It's very, very wrong. If you were doing it before, please stop it. Just few months into your marriage, you guys begin to have little misunderstandings and you're already rushing to outsiders. No. You will have to learn to resolve your issues together, alone, without outsiders, without any third party. Yes. For example, how can you as a married woman, because of a little misunderstanding you had with your husband, even if you did not tell your friends, you did not tell your family, you ran to social media, to the whole world. You as a married woman, you went to your status because of a misunderstanding you had at home with your husband. You went to your status and wrote something like, never marry a stingy man. They are the most useless husbands. What kind of message are you passing to the world? Because this one now is social media. Both friends, family, strangers, everybody's on social media. So what kind of message are you passing to the world that is happening in your home? Imagine a woman that just got married maybe a month ago, writing something like this on her status. What are you trying to achieve? You're only destroying your marriage, because that thing that you wrote, your partner will see it one day. Your partner will hear about it. How do you think your partner is going to feel? Of course, they're not going to feel good. So my dear, please learn to resolve your issues with your partner. Leave outsiders so that you don't regret it. As newlyweds, if you fail to balance work and marriage, that's a very big mistake that can cost you a lot. In fact, that can cost you your marriage if you're not careful. You have to learn how to balance work and marriage, because if you don't, it will keep causing issues for you guys. And the thing is that so many newlyweds actually underestimate what this imbalance between work and marriage can do to their marriage. My dear newlyweds, balance is the key. Do not make your partner feel less important. Do not make your partner feel like the second place to your career. Do not make your partner feel less prioritized. I'm not saying you should not take your career serious because of your marriage, no, but rather create a balance. Because if you prioritize your work over your marriage will suffer. If you prioritize your marriage over your work will suffer, your career will suffer. But if you know how to create a balance for everything to work, that is when you will enjoy both of them. And that is what newlyweds need to learn, because so many of them find it difficult at that early stage of marriage to balance work and marriage. But when you do, you will enjoy both. This point I'm about to mention now, not everybody is going to agree with me, but I have to mention it as a mistake that most newlyweds make, because it doesn't work for everybody. Yes, rushing into having kids first without adjusting as newlyweds is a mistake. Some couples just dive into having kids immediately they get married without even adjusting to some things. Financial adjustment, emotional adjustment, and all those things is very important, because when you don't adjust, you find yourself struggling. You know, all the stress that comes with pregnancy, both for the woman and for the man, it's not easy. Yes, but anyway, do what works for you. For some people, they want it 9 months from their wedding day for their wife to give birth. They want to start having kids like immediately. For some people, they want to wait like 6 months into their marriage or 1 year into their marriage before the woman gets pregnant, then gives birth. My dear, do what works for you. Children are a blessing, but what I'm trying to say is that it is good for you to plan yourself, because this parenting is not easy. It's not easy at all. Plan yourself, adjust properly, both financially and otherwise, before having kids. As newlyweds, when you think that your apology is going to always fix things in your marriage without change, that is a mistake. By the way, when you always apologize without changing your character, without adjusting your character, it weakens trust. Yes, if for example, your partner will always correct you about a particular, maybe a bad habit that you have. Ever since you guys got married and started living together, your partner will always correct you. Don't keep this thing here, don't do this. And every time they remind you about it, you always say sorry, but the next time you still do the same thing. How do you think your partner will feel? It weakens trust. In fact, one day they'll get tired of hearing your sorry. Your sorry will become empty, because it feels as if, okay, you're sorry, but you don't want to change. It will be as if you're even disobeying them on purpose. Apology is good, but it is better for you when you apologize and change your behavior. Apology backed up with a changed behavior, it helps build trust and it keeps your home at peace, and you avoid unnecessary misunderstanding. But when you keep repeating the same bad habit over and over again, your partner will get tired of listening to your sorry and your silly excuses. So please, whenever you apologize, back it up with adjusting your character and your behavior. Neglecting self-care after marriage, after the wedding, as newlyweds, is a very big mistake. Newlyweds should not stop taking care of themselves. Even though those things that you used to do when you were still single, the way you take care of yourself, you always work out, you keep flat tummy, you're always looking nice, body grooming, you smell nice, you're always looking dope. always looking, corporate. You always are very neat. All those things, you have to even do them more now that you're married. Do not come up with excuses like, after all, I'm now married. Or women, you begin to say things like, I'm no longer looking for husband now. What? You're no longer looking for husband, yes. But that is because you have found a husband. That is because you're now married. So that is even the more reason why you should even be doing those things that you used to do before. If you know the way you always look classy and beautiful and young, continue doing it. You're doing it. I mean, you don't know if that is what attracted your husband to you in the first place. So why should you stop? Do you want the attraction that pulled the both of you together to stop? No. You as a man, because you're now married, you now feel, my wife have seen me finish now. I don't need to always look a smart guy, fine boy. My dear, come on now. Hygiene is still important. Do not neglect body grooming, self-care, because you're now married. This is important for both the men and the women. I'm talking to couples. I'm not talking to a particular gender. Self-care is not vanity. Avoiding deep conversations about the future as newlyweds is a very big mistake. Yes. The conversation should continue. Maybe you guys were always planning and talking about your long-term goals when you guys were still dating, about to get married. Now that you're married, it is not for you to stop having those conversations. In fact, the conversation should be more intense, because it is now time for you to start implementing those goals gradually. So the conversation needs to continue. But you find out many couples, especially newlyweds, all they talk about is bills, work, schedules. What about your long-term plans, your long-term dreams and goals? When are you going to talk about them? It's very, very important. Please, do not neglect those plans. Because once you stop talking about your plans, you will stop making plans about the future. Yes, so you have to keep talking about it, so you can always learn to align your plans and your goals together, so that you can plan together and grow together in that marriage. As newlyweds, do not ever allow ego to rule in your marriage. Instead, it should be humility. Yes, in our society these days, you see a lot of couples over little fights and misunderstandings. Nobody wants to take the blame for anything. Nobody wants to accept fault. Nobody wants to compromise. For example, when you begin to have little misunderstandings as newlyweds to your partner, you begin to give your partner silent treatment. And you think that silent treatment means that you have won. No, it doesn't. You're only building a wall. It will keep getting taller every day until it gets very, very tall, too tall for that marriage. Do not allow your ego to rule in that marriage. Ego destroys love, but humility heals love. When you fail to build new traditions as a couple, that's a very big mistake. So many newlyweds always cling to old traditions. No, it shouldn't be like that. You have to learn to build your own traditions now that you guys are married. But it will help you guys to create a strong bond. And come on, your marriage is going to be unique. Maybe when you were still single, that you guys have a family tradition in your own family that once it is Christmas, the whole family has to gather back in the village to spend the holidays together. My dear, now that you're married, those things has to change. Create your own traditions with your partner because you're now married. Yes, but you see that, because if you don't create your own traditions and you continue with those old family traditions of everybody having to go down to the village, when you go back to your village and you leave your partner behind, your partner will feel left out. Your partner will feel sidelined. I'm not against you going back to the village to spend time with your family. Of course, you can plan these things, but make sure you carry your partner along. If your partner is okay with you always going back to the village every Christmas, you personally intentionally find time, create time to spend with your partner specially. And still, if you want to continue with your old family traditions, fine, but create your own new traditions. It will help your marriage so much, especially when the kids start coming. As newlyweds, when you fail to defend your partner publicly, that's a very big mistake. I don't know why some couples will allow outsiders to disrespect their own partner. It shouldn't be like that. Whether your partner is there presently or maybe in their absence, do not ever allow anybody, family and friends, anybody to disrespect your partner. Because if maybe it was in your partner's absence and they later hear about it, about what someone said about them that is really bad, and you were there, they know that you were there, they heard that you were there, and you did not defend them, it builds resentment. For example, you as the husband, maybe one day you just decided to visit your family with your wife. Yes, so maybe your wife cooked, it was a family gathering. How can you as a man allow your own mother to disrespect and insult your wife? Maybe over something negligible, just something very small, or maybe because of her cooking, or just something really small, and your mother insulted your wife right in front of everybody, and the only thing you could do was to laugh like a he-goat. Do you know how humiliated your wife will feel? That you could not even defend her? Even if you were going to correct her in private, learn to defend your partner in public. It builds trust. Expecting your partner to always read your mind is bad. Yes. My dear, marriage is not guesswork. Stop always expecting your partner to always know what the problem is. Especially the women. Maybe as a woman, as a wife, one day you were in a bad mood, something happened, or maybe you want something and it affected your mood. Your husband comes and asks you what is the problem, you say nothing, but within you're expecting him to know the problem, and you begin to when the man now finally says, okay, since you said it's nothing, let me go to work, or let me go to wherever, let me continue whatever it is I wanted to do. You now begin to say that he doesn't love you, he doesn't care about you. You begin to feel unloved. Marriage is not guesswork, my dear. That is why communication is very, very important. Maybe you wanted your husband to take you out on a date, but you're waiting for him to read your mind and know that he should take you out on a date. Come on now. Come on. You guys are no longer dating. This is marriage we're talking about. Marriage is not guesswork. So please, proper communication is very, very important. Do not assume things in marriage. Marriage is not guesswork. My gender, marriage is not guesswork. Letting pride and maybe over familiarity stop you from saying thank you to your own partner is a very big mistake. As simple as it is, thank you. You should not be stingy with it. Come on. So many newlyweds actually at some point stop saying thank you, appreciating their partner over little things, no matter how little it is. I mean, thank you is not hard. Maybe your partner assists you with cooking or with fixing your car, or just helps you to do little things in the home. A little thank you will actually go a long way. Don't always be in the habit of saying things like, okay, whenever your partner helps you with little things in the home, you'll be like, why should I acknowledge him? Why should I acknowledge her? Why should I say thank you? After all, it is my partner's duty to help me. It is your partner's duty to help you, yes, but not allow pride to stop you from saying thank you, because you will make your partner will feel like you don't know how to appreciate. As simple as it is, thank you. It is not hard. You might feel that it is just ordinary thank you, but that thank you will help keep your marriage alive. It will make your partner feel appreciated and acknowledged. Not discussing boundaries with the opposite sex is a very big mistake. It is not just about setting boundaries, but discuss it also with your partner. Friendship with the opposite sex can be seen as nothing. It can be innocent, yes, but at the same time, it can get dangerous. So that is why you have to talk about it to your partner. I mean, you guys should get used to such conversations right from the courtship stage. You have to learn to talk about these things. If you have friends, as a married man, as a married woman, if you have friends of the opposite sex, and you're having troubles discussing how to set boundaries with them, talk to your partner about it. If, for example, as a married woman, you're having problems with setting boundaries with your male friends, talk to your husband about it. He's a man, he will advise you better. But when you don't know how to set boundaries, you end up making your partner feel disrespected. Marriage requires transparency. Learn to talk about such things with your partner. If not, you end up giving room for temptation and mistrust in your marriage. And finally, on today's episode, part 1 episode of mistakes that newlyweds make without realizing it, is making fun of each other in the name of cracking jokes in very hurtful ways. Yes, do not use your partner to crack insultive and stupid, immoral jokes. No. You end up making your partner feel disrespected and insulted and humiliated. Especially in the presence of family and friends. Don't ever try it. Especially as newlyweds, don't ever try it. For example, maybe you as a husband, your wife just gave birth, and she has been having issues with getting her tummy back to its original shape. And every time you guys go out with friends and family, you use her big tummy to insult her. Every other person will laugh, but your wife is not going to laugh. Why? Because she feels humiliated. So come on, don't use your partner to crack immoral jokes. Or you as a wife, let me balance it. You use your husband to crack immoral jokes because you earn more than him, or because his salary is very, very small. You use it to insult him, make him feel less than a man. His friends, your friends and family might laugh, but your husband is not going to laugh. Why? Because it was a joke to others, but it wasn't a joke to him. It was an act of humiliation and a sign of disrespect. So whether you as the man or as the woman, don't use your partner to crack jokes, especially insultive and humiliating immoral jokes. You end up destroying your marriage. Welcome back. So in part 1, we uncovered so many surprising mistakes that newlyweds often make without even realizing it. Yes, so here's the truth. That was just the beginning. You need to understand that marriage does not unravel overnight. Yes, it is often those small and unnoticed habits that causes cracks in marriage. In this second part, we are going even deeper. Yes, we're going to be talking about mistakes that couples usually make without even realizing it. So this second part is very, very important. We're talking about choices that couples make that can turn passion into distance, turn love into frustration, and turn a home into just a house. Let's dive into part 2 immediately. So if part 1 was about the obvious things, those obvious mistakes, this part 2 is going to be about the hidden traps, the hidden mistakes that couples make. So let's quickly dive in what we have for this part 2, because your marriage might actually depend on you avoiding these mistakes. So it's very important that you know these mistakes and now observe in your life and marriage whether you are making such mistakes so that you can avoid them and enjoy maximum peace in your home. So what are those mistakes that the couples often make, especially the newlyweds, without even realizing it? Comparing your partner to an ex is definitely a very big mistake that can destroy your marriage. Some newlyweds, in fact, some couples casually always make statements of how their ex actually does a particular thing better, right in the presence of their partner. As a married man, as a married woman, you always say things to your partner of how your ex used to do a particular thing. What are you trying to achieve by doing that? You're trying to pass a message to your partner that they need to measure up. What good will such bad comparison do to your marriage? It will not help you at all. So my dear, avoid all forms of comparison. You can correct your partner, you can encourage your partner, you can advise your partner to do something better, but you don't have to compare them, not just to a friend, but to an ex. It is very, very bad. Don't ever try it, especially the newlyweds. So you don't start at a very early stage of your marriage and begin to destroy things. Please, comparison will only haunt and destroy your marriage. My dear, never let your past relationship with your past partner to haunt and destroy your present relationship, that is your marriage now. You will definitely regret it. Being overly dependent on your partner is not good. There are some couples that there are some people that just expect their partner to meet all their emotional needs. For example, as a married woman, you want your partner to be everything: your spiritual leader, your entertainer, your burden bearer, the love of your life, the husband, father, everything, counselor, advisor, therapist, the same person. Your husband is your partner, not your messiah, not your savior. Because if you expect him to be everything, my dear, he will get exhausted. Come on, overly exhausted. So don't be overly dependent on your partner. Give that person breathing space. Of course, they will always be there for you, be there to protect you, advise you and all that. But do not overdo such things. Failing to celebrate milestones is another mistake you shouldn't make as couples. Yes, some newlyweds, even some couples, actually forget the power of celebrating small wins. Yes, learn to celebrate each other. Learn to celebrate your partner. No matter how little that is, even if it's as small as your partner passing an exam, celebrate your partner. Be happy for them. You know, all those small recognitions, they are important. It helps you guys to strengthen your bond. Learn to celebrate your partner. Celebrate their promotions. Celebrate their birthdays. Celebrate your anniversary. No matter how little it is, learn to celebrate each other in that marriage. Ignoring each other's families is a mistake you should never make. Don't ever. Yes, I understand that too much excess involvement of families into your marriage can ruin your marriage. Yes, I agree. But it doesn't mean you should ignore them completely. No, it's a sign of disrespect. All you need to do is to learn how to set boundaries. Yes, it doesn't mean you should cut them off entirely. No, it's not nice. Ever since you got married to your partner, their family now becomes your family. Just know it. Your partner's family has now become your family ever since you got married. How can you, as a married man, as a married woman, since you got married, you have never called your father-in-law, your mother-in-law, all your partner's siblings, you never reach out to them? It is not good. In fact, it is a sign of disrespect. Learn to reach out to each other's families, but always remember to prioritize your partner. Not learning how to handle stress and challenges together is a very big mistake. You have to learn it, because life comes with various challenges. So expect the challenges of life when you get married. It comes in various forms. Challenges of life is no respecter of a person's bank account. No matter how rich you are, there are always challenges. It is part of life. It comes in various forms. It can come in form of joblessness, financial issues, illnesses, miscarriage, depression. You know, it can come in various forms. But if the both of you can hold your ground and stand firm together and not drift apart in the time of these challenges and storms, your bond will be stronger. Your love will be stronger in that marriage. That marriage will grow stronger. But if you guys go against each other, begin to fight each other in the midst of these storms, your marriage will fall. So please, learn to handle challenges together. My dear newlyweds, don't ever make the mistake of letting technology replace connection in your marriage. Phones are good though, social media is good. But please, you have to be careful, because if you're not careful, it can rob you and your marriage of intimacy if unchecked. Yes. So minimize the way it takes your attention, especially when you're meant to have meaningful and important conversations with your partner. Technology is good, but my dear, your marriage still needs your undivided attention. Not discussing clear household rules is definitely a mistake you should not make. Yeah, so many newlyweds actually avoid having such conversations. You need to learn how to set your household rules. Yes, it's very important. From the finances to the chores and the errands and all that. Don't assume that things will just flow. Talk about it. These roles are very important. They should be discussed. Do not give room for assumptions. Roles are meant to be discussed, not assumed. When you believe and feel that sex should be effortless in marriage, that is a mistake. Some couples believe or assume that marriage means unlimited sex forever. My dear, calm down. It's not like that. It's not always like that. Yes, you have your partner, you can have sex anytime you want. But, my dear, sometimes even that sex will not even cross your mind. Responsibilities, stress, emotional distance can affect the rate of intimacy in your marriage. Yes. I know of a married woman that was complaining that after her first year of marriage, the rate of intimacy just reduced, and instead of her to communicate with her partner, I advised her to communicate with her partner to find out what the problem is, because she was just giving room for my assumption. She felt, okay, maybe her partner was cheating, or maybe the man no longer found her attractive, only to realize later, after proper communication, that it was stress and work, stress from responsibility, stress from work that actually made the man. It's not like he didn't want it anymore, but just that if he's so tired, he won't even be able to think about such a thing. He just comes back, eats and rests. It happens. There will come sometimes in your marriage when responsibilities and stress won't even allow sex to cross your mind. So intimacy is more like something you have to make intentional efforts for it to continue. You have to maintain that area of your marriage. Intimacy is not autopilot. It needs and requires and thrives with intentional efforts. Failing to build emotional safety in your marriage is a mistake you shouldn't make. Because when one person is feeling judged or mocked because they decided to open up to their partner, because they decided to be vulnerable to their partner, my dear, they will feel emotionally unsafe. Yes, that thing that you don't want your partner to do to you, please don't do it to your partner. How can your partner open up to you about their fears, their worries, their weaknesses, and you mock and judge them for it? Do you expect them to open up to you next time? No, they won't. Think about it. If it were you, would you like such a thing? Would you still open up? So please, marriage should be built on emotional safety. Emotional safety is very important. If you want your partner to be vulnerable to you, to open up to you all the time about their fears, their worries, their weaknesses, their past and everything, you have to learn to make them feel emotionally safe and not mock them or judge them because of what they opened up to you about. Treating marriage like a competition is definitely something you should not do. As a couple, no, it's very bad. It kills marriage. Please, newlyweds, please take note. Keeping scores like who spends more, who sacrifices more, who pays more bills, who does this more, who does that more, it only turns partners into rivals, and you don't need that for your home. Come on. For example, how can you, as a married woman, as the wife, because you earn more than your husband, you always remind him of the things that you spend your money on in that home? You always remind him of how you pay rent, you pay the school fees, you buy food stuff, you did this, you did that. Come on. You're bruising that man's pride. Even if that man is not saying anything, you're bruising his pride. Marriage is not a scoreboard. Marriage is teamwork. All those things you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your family, your marriage. Not having a mentor as a married man, as a married woman is bad. You need a mentor or a counselor. It's very important. The thing is that some couples, they hate counseling. They dislike guidance. My dear newlyweds, please, you need a mentor. You need to know who your partner listens to. You need to have someone that you listen to. Have a mentor, someone that can counsel you and your partner when things get a little rough and you guys can't handle it anymore. Yes, it's important though. There are times in your marriage when maybe things could get a little rough and you guys are finding it hard to settle that issue alone. You need a counselor. You need a mentor to help you guys reduce the tension in your marriage. It could be anyone. Anyone can be your mentor. There are so many professional counselors out there. You can meet them, go for counseling sessions and, tackle that issue with the counselor. It could also be your spiritual leader. It could be your parents. It could be a very good friend, very good family, a very good family friend. It could also be a very good family member. Have a counselor, have a mentor, have someone that you listen to when they speak. Because a counselor or a mentor will help you guys see what the both of you cannot see in that problem. Neglecting fun and playfulness altogether in your marriage is bad. It's a big mistake you should not make, please. Some newlyweds, once they get married like this, they stop having fun. That's really bad. Because of bills and responsibilities. I'm not saying you should not take care of your bills and responsibilities. Of course you have to. But it doesn't mean that you should no longer have fun. My dear, please, have fun with your partner. Go out on dates, go out on occasions together, learn to laugh together, crack jokes together, have good conversations together. Keep the joy and the fun in your home intact. Fun helps you to maintain the romance. Of course, because if not, your home will end up looking like a business office. Please, keep the fun alive. Anything you can do, however you want to do it, please keep the joy of your home alive always. Not respecting each other's privacy in that marriage is bad. Come on, that you guys are married doesn't mean zero boundaries. Of course, you have to learn to respect each other's boundaries in that marriage. Yes, snooping through your partner's phone is bad. It's a sign of insecurity and mistrust. So my dear, please learn to respect each other's boundaries. Respect your partner's privacy. Trust grows when privacy is respected. Allowing a family member to stay with you without your partner being okay with it is wrong. Before any of your extended family members come to spend time with you, especially if that person is staying for a very long time, you have to make sure that your partner is okay with it. You have to let your partner know on time and make sure that they're okay with it. All those big family decisions is meant to be a mutual agreement. Because if you don't make sure that your partner is okay with that decision, you end up causing unnecessary tension. Or that person that came to stay with you guys will end up making or causing unnecessary tension between you and your partner. And you don't want that. It can be avoided. Failing to respect each other's alone time is wrong. You see, marriage doesn't erase each other's individuality. Learn to respect your partner's alone time. Give them space when needed. Don't be too clingy. Such character can be really suffocating. So my dear, please learn to respect your partner's individuality. Give them space when they need it. Newlyweds, do not ever make the mistake of allowing jealousy to creep into your marriage. No. Unnecessary suspicion will only kill peace in your marriage. It will only cause unnecessary tension. Please, build your marriage on a good foundation of trust. Because that suspicion, especially if that person is not doing that thing you're suspecting them of doing, it only kills peace in marriage. My dear newlyweds, assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. Do not assume that marriage is going to heal your personal wounds. No. Some people enter marriage with the wrong mindset. They enter marriage feeling that marriage is going to fix their insecurity or their loneliness or whatever. My dear, marriage will only magnify who you truly are. So if you're insecure, get ready. It's going to go big. If you have any emotional wound, take time to heal personally before getting married. If you're not prioritizing each other's health in that marriage, my dear, you're making a very big mistake. Yes, your partner's health is as important as yours. Because if you're sick, your partner will be sick as well. If your partner is sick, you're sick as well. It's on you. The both of you are one. So you have to learn to take care of each other's health. From your diet to exercise to medical checkups, all these things are very important. So always learn to take care of each other's health. Because as you're taking care of each other's health, caring for each other's health is caring for each other's future. It's caring for your future, the future of your marriage. Failing to forgive quickly is another very important mistake you should not make. Please, you have to learn to forgive your partner. Holding grudges is a very deadly poison. You have to learn to let go. Forgive and forget. Forgive and let go. How can you, as a married man, as a married woman, whenever you have little misunderstandings with your partner, you always remind them of something that they did last 2 years, something that you guys resolved that time, and you said that you are forgiving them. But anytime you guys have a little misunderstanding, you always bring it up again. It's not nice. It means that you forgave them, but you did not forget about it. You did not let go. Forgiving and forgetting goes hand in hand. You have to learn to let go. If you forgive and you don't let go, you're holding grudges. That means you did not completely forgive. So my dear, please, especially the newlyweds, forgiveness is not weakness. In fact, forgiveness is the glue that holds long-lasting marriages. Because it is when you forgive that you can move on and enjoy peace. Last but not the least on today's episode, my God, it has really been a long one. Okay, so last but not the least, on mistakes that newlyweds shouldn't make, couples should not make, or mistakes that couples make without realizing it, whichever one, is not building friendships together. Some people, they like to separate themselves, isolate themselves completely. But my dear, social circles matter. It is very good to have couple friends around you. You can say you're not a people person, you're a private person, this, that, fine. Even if you're a private person, you can still have few friends. Yes, have few couple friends. It's very important too. Because building this friendship, couple friendships, as in being friends with other couples, it helps you guys. In fact, it builds encouragement. And finally, on today's episode on mistakes that couples, especially the newlyweds, usually make without realizing it, is forgetting the covenant part of marriage. Yes, my dear, marriage is a covenant. So many newlyweds actually forget the covenant part of marriage. They always see that marriage is more of romance. But my dear, marriage is a covenant that requires commitment, faithfulness, and sacrifice. So always keep in mind that marriage is a covenant and not just a contract. Because if you have this in mind, it will help you to weather through the challenges and tough seasons of your marriage. So, my dear couples, especially the newlyweds, I want you to understand that marriage does not collapse in just one day. It doesn't collapse overnight. It is actually those little mistakes that you do daily that actually eat away of the love in your marriage. So if you're already making those mistakes, my dear, it's not too late to retrace your steps. If you're not, now that you've now known the mistakes, you can now avoid them. So it's very important that you educate yourself about things like this. So that's all for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching my video today. Thank you so much for listening. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also like and comment on my videos. Share my videos to newlyweds that needs to hear about this. Thank you so much for watching. See you in another episode with Rusi Baby.